Okay, great. Recording is now is working fine. So thank you everyone for joining this technical today. This is Miguel Buitrago. I am sales engineer from Rockwell Networks. And let's get started with this session in first stage in English version, just for my CWNE requirements application for the video. I already submitted a couple of ones in Spanish version as well, but remember that I will follow with the same part in Spanish version, right? For those that I asking me about the explain the same subject with it, but in Spanish version, right? So let's get started. Today I will talk about how 802.11 state machine works. So let's start it and mention it that this is the 4 stages of client connectivity that often referred for the client state machine. This is reflects a relationship between a single client and AP, right? So let's start with state one. This is an authenticated and associated state. In this stage falls whole class one frames. What I mean with the class one frames, for example, proof requests, proof response, beacons, authentication on the authentication frames, etc., falls in this category, right? This is the first stage. But what happens if the client gets successful 802.11 authentication? This coming up or this turning up in stage 2, but just only with successful 802.11 open system authentication. Please don't not confuse with the RSN authentication, right? This is the stage 2. In this stage, the client gets a status as authenticated and an associated state. This falls in this stage, for example, class 1 and 2. The class of frame that I previously mentioned before, and in addition, class 2 frame, for example, association request, association response, reassociation request, or reassociation response if roaming applies, or maybe just only this association, right? But what happens in this case, for some reason, cause the client get the authenticated pass come back to the state one. The state one to unauthenticated and unassociated, right? This is the state two with class on two frames. So what happened after that, or what is the next step here? The next step is the client gets the successful 802.11 association. This is a process between AP and client could be share the capabilities, right? This process can be formed by two frames, association request and association response, or maybe reassociation if roaming applies, right? This is the state 3 authenticated and associated in this case because the client gets successful 802.11 association process, right? But what happens if this case the client get the association for some reason code or some reason cause get come back to the previous state, state 2, with the association cause. But what happens if client get the authentication frame for some reason cause or some reason code, get you back until the first stage, so stage 1, right? This is the explanation what happened if the association or the authentication frame come through to the client. So right, this is the state 3, and remember previously renderings of the state machine concept used only three states, but with the widespread adoption of robust security network, it's helpful to differentiate the 802.1x controlled port status in this state 3. So what happened in this case? The client gets the successfully RSN authentication and gets started with the authentication to robust security networks. In this case, in this step, when this case applies, if a client gets the A2 personal or enterprise. In this slide, I showed you a WPA2 enterprise when A02.1 1x controlled port blocked. If the client gets successful ape process successfully, gets a controller port will open. So get the four-way handshake successfully and turn up to the state 4, right? This is a process, or this is the fourth state with authenticated and associated and full RSN authentication successfully, right? In this case, state 3 and state 4 force the class 3 frame. For example, infrastructure BSS data frames, infrastructure BSS action frames, PS pool, block acknowledge request, block acknowledge response, etc. in this kind of states, right? This is the reason why that's included from the four potential state here. We should also point that if the BSS does not require authentication, the client or the e-stack will move from the state 2 to state 4, right? The same case, the same if holds true in a fast roaming or fast BSS transition roaming situation, goes through the same form from state 2 to state 4. This is the 4 states for the state machine. I will repeat the explanation for the Spanish version for all of them. So let me click it and stop the recording and switch on to the Spanish version, right?